What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going over things that I like better on my 2020 model compared to my 2013. Now right off the rip, I'll just say this because I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook about it, but this newer K67 model is definitely a way better bike all the way around than the previous years, especially like the older ones, like the 2010, 2011 up to 2014. Obviously it has a lot more features on it. So the first thing that I like a lot better on this thing is the technology that they installed into this machine. Amazing stuff with the TFT, one of the biggest screens on street bikes that they have out there. But I think some other bikes now have that same size. But the TFT is incredible. There's so much stuff on it, between the multiple tachometer screens and being able to hook up your connection to your phone to the thing to see, navigation and, call it, or when you make calls out. And there's just so much stuff that I can't really ramble it off the top of my head right now, but the TFT is awesome on this thing. Another thing that I like better on this model is the fact that it does feel a little bit more comfortable in the seating position, which is awesome for long rides compared to my 2013. Obviously things like cruise control is amazing. That is a great thing to have. I've never had it on a street bike before, so to have it, it's great for like highway use, even maybe some slow back road use, whatever you want to use it on. So that is a great thing. And I understand some of the older S1000s, what is it, 2015 and up in the USA, has cruise control. But I do have to mention that because, a lot of 1000cc sport bikes, leader bikes, don't have it. So props to BMW for that. Let's see, so the electronic suspension is, it's pretty cool. I like how you can, actually choose in the Race Pro modes on this model, how much power output you want to put in, the suspension settings, the engine braking, the wheelie control. I feel like on my older 2013 model S1000rr that the wheelie control is just way too restrictive, in the race setting. Now with a slick chip that should turn it off, so I could probably, wheelie to my heart's content, right? But awesome stuff on this bike for sure. The wheelie control is a lot more better in my opinion. And what the hell is going on up here? So back to this bike, the handlebars are a little bit more wider than the previous gen that I had, which I think helps in with the turning a little bit. And this bike is super flickable with the carbon rims on it that come stock, which is great. This thing is super flickable, so easy to flip around. It feels like a 600 just because of the way it's so flickable and easy, which is great. What else? So obviously all the M accessories that you can get for this bike is cool. I like these rear sets better than the HP4 rear sets that I have on my 13. But I mean, like I said, overall it's just a better bike. Another thing that I love about this TFT is the gas gauge. I love that. I mean, it's great to know where you are. I mean, Honda on their CBR 600rr in 2003 had a gas gauge, and I thought that was like the awesomest thing way back in 2003, you know what I mean? But it was cool because no other bike that I knew of had that. And the CBR 600rr 2003, that was the first street bike that I've ever owned in my life, and it was a great bike. But I just don't understand why any of the other companies like Yamaha and all the other ones didn't have like a actual gas gauge like the Honda did, but it just took like, I don't know, what, all these years to actually get a gas gauge so you can see where you are. You know, especially if you're way out there deep and you're like, okay, I got like, you know, a little less than a half a tank. You know, I should probably, in a little bit, depending on how far I'm out, you know, try to find a gas station. Yeah, I get it. You have a certain amount of miles, but yeah, so this bike is awesome. With the flash, quick shifter is super smooth. Oh, that's another thing. The quick shifter is 10 times better on this thing than my 2013. Granted, this is flash, but even like from the factory, I can tell that this thing has a much better quick shifter, which is, you know, expected because it's, you know, 7 years newer on the bike with more development, so you can expect that type of stuff for sure. We have some beautiful scenery over here with all the leaves turning. It's starting to look pretty beautiful, but it just sucks because you're starting to get more leaves on the ground now, and that could potentially be a little bit more dangerous. So just something to look out for. So another thing that I like about this bike better is the shift cam technology, which is pretty freaking dope. But yeah, I like this shift cam. It's awesome. It's a great thing to have. It makes the bike powerful throughout the whole RPM range. So beautiful thing. I do feel like the grips are a little bit more better on this thing. This little dial that's on here is pretty cool to go through all the menus. That's a cool thing. And let's see, what else? Obviously, more horsepower is a beautiful thing. I mean, you can't get enough more horsepower on bikes. It's always a horsepower request, right? But the fact that they have the shift cam gives you all that good overall power. And it seems like, ever with the newest software that I have on this bike, it seems like that they have a little bit of a higher idle off takeoff. Another thing that I like, so I'm just going to hold it now. So there is the brake assist. See how it has H or hill assist or whatever? So if you're on a hill and you got to stop, you could you could press the brake, hold it in pretty tight, and that H comes on for the hill assist. And that's actually, it's pretty nice because, you know, you could just be hanging out on a hill waiting for the light to turn and you're not holding onto your brakes. So that's a beautiful thing. You could just, you know, press the brake again to release it and go. So that is a nice thing that I like about this bike. So stock for stock, of course, the lights on this thing are way better because they're LEDs, and my 2013 originally came with halogen, so lights are way better on this model, stock for stock, of course. Let's see, what else do I like about this thing? It's just an overall great bike. I mean, you can't really knock it. Just a beautiful bike to have. I'm really glad I got it. I don't know how I feel about that new 2023 model. It looks a little, it's different for sure. And, you know, BMW is known for doing stuff like that, making things a lot different than what people would expect. So, until I really see one in person, I'll give my, you know, honest opinion on it. I kind of, you know, I did make a video with a whole bunch of picture slideshow and some information on the engine, and of course, like any new model, there's always some recalls or stop sales happening. There was actually a stop sale on the 2023 s1000rr models with the clutch cover with the screws coming out or something like that, and I think it's the same for the 2022 model. So if you have a 2022, you might want to have that checked out by the dealer because there's going to be a recall on it. Anyway, back to this thing. Well, I'm just going to park over here for a second so we could look at this beautiful bike. Yeah, so look at this thing. It's just a beautiful machine. I love the color scheme on it. The color scheme is beautiful. The carbon wheels coming from the factory, a beautiful thing. When I bought this thing in 2020, the price was actually, I thought, was relatively good. And of course I added on all the M accessories like the lever guards, the M levers, the M rear sets, and the M calipers. And, you know, all these bits and pieces like this. I got the exhaust and all that other stuff. But you really don't have to do too many things to this bike to make it amazing. Like, literally, you can just get one of these that has, like, the, you could even use the stock muffler, or if it comes with that, you know, OEM Acura muffler, and just get some, like, stainless steel Acura headers, which are relatively cheap, or, like, the Aero headers, and the, you know, the stock muffler, it's going to bolt right up to it, which is amazing. So, luckily for people that are kind of on the shorter side in the height department, like myself, I'm 5'9", and, you know, I got the M low seat just to help with the height a little bit, and I'm pretty good with that. But, you know, Bren Tuning does have a lowering link, which will lower the bike about 2 inches. So for you shorter people, that may be very beneficial for this model, and especially the 23, because from my understanding, and I don't quote me on this, I could be wrong, but I think the seat height is just a little bit higher than, you know, than this current version of the K67, like the M1000rr. I think it's like the same height, if I'm not mistaken. But so if you need something, you could get that, and it will help out. Of course, being able to at least tippy toe or be on, you know, the balls of your feet is a good thing. So another thing that I'm kind of torn about is I like the I don't know, I love how the front end looks. It looks great. Actually looks really good. I love it. I think I like it better than the asymmetrical headlights. And of course, you know, people may have different opinions on that. The daytime running light strip on the bottom, these are awesome. I really like that. I think it looks great. And of course, who wouldn't love carbon fiber wheels for their motorcycle coming stock? Beautiful thing. So yeah, this is just some of the stuff that I like better on my 2020 model. Obviously, like I said, it's leaps ahead of the 2013, and not that the 2013 model bike that I have is a bad bike. It's a great bike. I love it. I like riding both of them. I can't lie, but this thing is a little bit more comfortable. It is more powerful, way better technology, way better quick shifter, and seating position is a little bit more comfortable. So props to BMW for always pushing the envelope and making these bikes a lot more enjoyable for us. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Like I said, if you have an older model and you're thinking about going to the K67, which is the 2020 and up model in the USA, I would absolutely go for it, man. They are great motors. I've seen people with at least 18,000 plus miles on these things with no issues. And, you know, the good thing is that, you know, when you buy it, you get the warranty as well. I also bought the extended warranty for this, so I've had this bike for 2 years. It's almost going on 3, so the original warranty is basically going to be expired in, I think, February of next year in 2023. But I extended it. I bought 4 more years of warranty, so I'm good to this thing for a while. And who knows, by then they may have another model that's just so much more better than this. So if that's the case, who knows, maybe I'll get the newer model. I don't know. It all depends. Like I said, I love this bike. This thing is great. I love the lines, the way the bike looks, the way it performs. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, of course, if you're in the USA, you need to get a flash on these things to really get the whole good experience from this thing, because you're just robbed of so much power from the restrictions. But any new motorcycle that you're buying now today, it's going to have those restrictions, and you have to flash the ECU. It is what it is, guys. If you're worried about warranty work, you know, do whatever you want, but just know that you're missing out on a lot. I rode it with the stock software for a bit after I got the recall done, you know, just for the heck of it. And then when I put the flash on, it's just like, it's just amazing. It's amazing how much power you get back, and you don't really know how much you're missing out on until you actually have it. So don't be afraid to flash these things, guys. Everybody in the USA is doing it. Alright, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you for tuning in. Hope this video was informative for you, and it gave you a little bit of better insight. Am I still keeping my 2013 model? Absolutely. Still going to keep it. I don't know. I always seem to have 3 bikes in my fleet for some reason. I've had 4, a little more. But I've always had at least 3 or 2 for, you know, some sort of period of time, but then I always end up getting a 3rd one, so I'm back at 3, and whatever breaks down, I got the other 2, so I'm good. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. The 2023 s1000rr should be out by now, by the time this video is released, so you guys can always check that out. It's supposed to have some weirder type of winglets. It's pointed down more and some other stuff, but you'll see it by then. It should be ready to be out, and there should be a whole bunch of videos on it. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.